All rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilman Alvarez.
Here.
Councilwoman Eckhart.
Here.
Councilman Lord.
Here.
Supervisor Hay.
Here. Notation of the exits in the front and the rear and electronic device, please put it on vibrate. I make a motion to come out of the executive session. No action was taken.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Tonight, we have the luxury and the privilege to have the Brewster Bruins 9U football team, who had a 33-0 season.
Wow.
Now, part of that season was them, I guess was it last weekend? Yeah. They went to West Point. I would have loved to go in there as a military man, not as a football player, never would have made it. And they won the game at Michie Stadium. And that was a culmination of a really great season. So what I have this evening and the town board has for you is a proclamation recognizing each of you for a job well done, and especially the coaches. One, we would like to thank the coaches for the time and effort you put into all of our programs here in the town of Southeast, especially football. And since there's so many, I think there's some twins here too. Is there twins here? Ah. You kind of look alike, but I don't know if I can pick you out in the crowd. Any rate, I'm going to be calling you, I'm going to come up front there and invite the head coach, the coaches up first, and each individual. I will hand you your little certificates that you can put on your wall. Get a lot of girls with these guys. And is there one girl in the team?
There is,
she at?
yeah.
Ah, and she's the only girl that didn't argue. I called her girl, not a woman or whatever. Okay. Okay. I'm a terrible speaker, so I'm a politician. Now, Patty and Kathy, you're part of this program, and thank you very much. You'll be coming up as well. Thank you for all. Hey, come on. You guys do a lot of work. Now, for over an hour today, they coached me how to say all these names. But thank God they weren't really too difficult to do. So the first person we'll have come up this evening is Jeff Snyder, is the head coach. Okay, then we have Coach Don Accurso. That's our twins.
There you go.
Okay, next one is, these are supposed to be in order. Time out. This is embarrassing. Is there two there? No, I'm trying to, you know what? These things are sticking together. This is not good. Okay. Yeah, but where's, okay, we got a problem with one of these. At any rate, Coach Frank Bucci. Okay, maybe it wasn't a problem. Maybe it was just my eyes. I'm going for cataracts in 2 weeks. Can't wait. Okay, next up will be Rob Curtis. Not here. Coach Mike Schmidt. Coach Dave Snyder. And Coach Tony Medina. I think I might make him my campaign. Good job, man. You got the biggest applause.
Thank you.
Okay, now we start with the little guys. What's the... Okay, what is the age group of the team? Nine. Fourth and fifth grade. Fourth and fifth. Good for you guys. Okay, are all the kids here tonight, you think? Whoa. Okay. Antonio Curzo? Do I dare ask him to wear? No, that's mine. Okay. Caden Anderson? These things are sticking together.
Oh, no.
Everyone wants mine. This is only a cheat sheet. Okay. Juan Carlos Alvenda. No, how do you say it?
Oh, John Carlos.
And
Last name.
okay, Zachary Veal. Okay, John Braz. Max Bucci. Valentina Carrera. Michael Curtin. Look at that. I'm doing a bad enough job now. If you take my sheet, I'm really going to be out of it. Okay. Jack Farrell. Christian Fox. Lucas Medina. Samuel Roberto. Charles Romanelli. Oh, these are the twins. Nathan Romanelli. No triples, right? Jackson Sabbath. Brody Snyder.
Family.
Michael Subin. And Luca Tumanello. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the 9U winning team of 33-0 for 2018. Okay, Coach Snyder.
All right, I'll be real brief. I just want to thank the town for having us here. It's a great honor for the kids. Kids really love it. Parents, I think, love it more. I just want to thank Pat, Kathy, all the parents, everybody. There's a lot of names I got to throw out there. I'll get that at the dinner, so if I miss you, just let me know after. I'm just really proud of the kids. You know, the results speak for themselves, and you know, the town's going to have to do certificates every year because I got a feeling we're going to be champions every year. We'll leave it at that. So congratulations, team, town, once again, and thank this guy as well. Thank you.
Now, if everyone wants to stick around, we're going to be talking garbage, literally. And also, we're passing the town budget tonight. We might want to add a couple bucks in case they come back next year. Thank you all again to the. Thank you all for coming.
Take care. Thanks again.
Congratulations. That's great. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Congratulations. Don't forget your trophy. Over the go. Hi, how are you? I'm good. I'm good. How are you? Good. Everyone's great. Bill has 3 boys now. Hey, he was a coach, I take it? Yes. But he wasn't. Okay, say hi. It's nice to see you. This is very exciting. It is. Good job. You must be busy. Well, you're all the most athletic family. Yeah, say hi to me.
I know Snyder.
They live on Willow Shore.
Thank you.
I came in here, I go, is there a food drive? And then I looked at it, I go, oh, that doesn't look very good.
I thought the same thing. I was like, what did I forget? And then it's like, oh. It's crazy. It's like asking for help. Tony, let me help you.
There is a difference.
I'm not quick on my feet, Joe. Is he working? Nah.
Perfect, thank you.
Wow, nobody's seen it. Paul, forget it. We'll do the best we can.
Oh, so I turn that on?
Oh, wait 1 second, no.
Yeah.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Okay, we didn't take a recess, but we're back in. Okay. Next up is, in the work session, is Suburban Carting is gonna be talking about the new recycling regulations for 2019. She'll be here this evening, and she's coming back at the end of December. I hope you all have your scorecards with you, because she's gonna explain what goes in this one, this one, this one. So Diane Chickering from Suburban Carting, welcome.
Thank you, Tony, and Town Board member for inviting me here. I basically wanted to explain some changes which, that are effective January 1st, 2019. And it's in regards to separating the material, the recycling material, and the way you put it out for collection. Generally now, we separate the plastic bottles and cans in your current calendar that you receive at the beginning of the year. So it's pretty much same separation, some of you may already do, because we do see that out there in the residence. Paper or plastic bottles and cans in one container, and then cardboard, paper products, junk mail in another container. In this calendar, we're actually going to be sending out 2 recycling labels. One that's going to read blue for plastic bottles and cans, so you can put it on any garbage can you have and put your plastic bottles and cans in that. And then there will also be a brown recycling container that's going to read cardboard, paper, junk mail, paper products actually. We're in the process of printing them right now. And you can use an old trash can, or you can just utilize the 2 recycling containers you might already be using at this time. And then along with the you can continue to use one of these blue containers that I have on the table if you are comfortable with the smaller ones, or you can use a 64-gallon recycling, a blue container, or you can put a sticker on it. It's your choice. So after January 1st comes and we're out picking up the recycling, if we find that the material is mixed or contaminated, then we're actually going to be leaving an OOP sticker and leaving the material behind. So it's really important to have the material sorted properly before January 1st. This is basically what the OOP sticker looks like. It would be left on whether it's, of course, we don't use plastic bags anymore, but if you have a container out and there's styrofoam mixed in there, or too much contamination, or it's not sorted, then unfortunately you would get an OOP sticker, and then you'd have to just sort it the right way properly and then put it back out for the next pickup. So basically, I just wanted to kind of go through what we accept as plastic bottles and cans, what we accept as paper and cardboard products, and how to stack them into a container. And then the last table is basically a lot of contamination that we get, and is what we're really trying to keep the stream clean. And we really want either you to send a product to a Goodwill or a Salvation Army, or then throw it in the trash. Only because that contaminates the single stream, the recycling loads, and then and then that load would get thrown in the trash, and we don't really want that. We want to keep the stream as clean as possible. So,
Now, when you say that, that's pretty much mandatory by those on the other end, right?
correct. This is coming from the recycling. It actually started in August 2017. We sell recyclable materials to recycling facilities, and in August 2017, with all of the trade wars going on with China, the acceptable contamination went from 1.5% to 0.05%, so less than half a percentage. So, and the contamination is really basically what I'm going to kind of show you tonight. Residue left in the jelly jars, mayonnaise left in the mayonnaise jar. If you can't get it clean, then it has to be thrown in the trash. We want to keep the stream as clean as possible. That's our goal. If not, it's contaminated.
And just so the public knows, which I guess Diane's here to tell us this evening, it's not the town's fault, it's not the Carter's fault, it's the world's fault. You have to have clean recycling, and if not, they can't take it. Now, I know last year when they came out with no bags, the plastic bags, we got tons upon tons of calls. Why not? That's ridiculous. It's because they jammed up the machines and whatever. So most of the regulations that go into effect are there for a purpose, and just don't look to point a finger, just help us out. If not, you're gonna get what they call the oops sticker, and that means you have to still go back and recycle the way it's done. And a pizza box with the pizza grease, I guess they don't want.
We don't want it.
So, I
China
mean,
doesn't want it, the recyclers don't want it.
yeah, so we're kind of stuck with it. And it's gonna be left at the curbside, which is the worst part, because now you have to do it again. And then if it's too much trouble, you end up putting it in the
Trash.
trash. I told you we talk trash.
I don't want to jump ahead, but I've always separated. I didn't realize, like you had a choice to commingle now or not. But I've heard, even though I separate, half the time, it looks like it all goes into the same back of the truck, whether you got it in separate bins or not. And I'm not complaining either way, but I know a lot of residents will complain and say, like, what's the point of having to separate it if it's all going to go into the truck the same way? So now that you're talking about, you might get an oops, I understand you get the oops sticker because we legitimately put something in wrong, but like for argument's sake, it's all paper and then there's one plastic bottle in there. Are they gonna literally discriminate and say, there's one plastic bottle, you get the oops sticker? Or again, if it's all going into the same truck,
No,
what's
okay.
kind of the big deal?
Yeah, I can answer that. In the past, we were able to bring it to facilities that accepted single stream. The rate for single stream went from a rebate to us to a charge, and the charge is very close to a trash rate charge of disposal. So this is where the problem started arising in August of 2017. We are bringing a truck on in the town of Southeast that is a split packer. One side is plastic bottles and cans, and the other is paper and cardboard. So you're only getting a recycling truck picking up recyclable items. This is helping, by the generator, you, the resident, separating it properly, which you have mentioned you do, and most residents do. They really do. Or the calendar, Levon does a wonderful job with the calendar, and that's really how residents still continue to try to put it out. The problem is the contamination that comes along with it, which is my second table, with the material. But as long as it's collected clean, in a split packer truck, the plastic bottles and cans are separate from the cardboard and paper.
All right, just again, from like, I guess, the resident looking from their window, it looks like they're not
Oh, yeah.
separating, you're just throwing it all in the back.
I have a flyer that's Follow the Trash, and it kind of explains it, and it has a great picture of the plastic bottles and cans on one side of the truck and the paper and cardboard on the other. From the side view, that's
Right.
exactly what it looks like, but you have to be standing behind the truck.
Do you have one of those pictures with you by chance now?
I actually, I gave it to, blame Christine. So I did the presentation last night at the Brewster Village, and I gave it to her.
Well, we'll put it up on the website to show the people that here's the truck.
I will. I
It's
can
one truck, but if you look at the back, like you say, there's one compartment, half here, half on the other side. So it looks like it's one, but it's actually two.
Yeah, you can email it, I can even, I don't know if it's too late to, you have it already, Levon? If you want to put it in the calendar. Oh, Levon, see, I knew I needed Levon up here. He already put it in the calendar, so the residents will be able to see it.
I also thought the one thing that was really helpful, if you're speaking to me now after our meeting.
Yes, I am, of course.
Is the link you sent us that's about an 8-minute video of why this is changing and why it has to change. You know, if we can put a link to it possibly on our website for those who are interested, because it really explains it in an 8-minute segment and shows what's going on. And I was just amazed when you said even with paper, that the Chinese have sent inspectors that actually measure the temperature in the paper to make sure it is clean in the middle of stacks. So what used to be profitable is no longer profitable. So this we need to do for the town, I think, to help keep down our rates as well, so.
Absolutely. Does anybody have any questions?
Is there any chance for the future that also...
Ma'am, could you come up to the mic and ask the question, please? State your name for the record.
Hello. I'm wondering if there's any chance in future to also recycle plastic bags on the curbside, because now I have to go to the stores and bring it there. I think a lot of people don't do it because it's inconvenient, and also change things in the stores. I see something happening, but I think there's like, if we would charge money for plastic bags or something, that people are more aware to bring their own bags and reduce the pollination of the world, as everybody knows is really bad.
The one thing I can tell you is at the county level, there have been a lot of discussions about banning plastic bags, so that is going on right now. It's more of a county initiative at the county level, so you could talk to your legislator if you support that, and then the more they hear from constituents, the more apt they are to vote for something like this.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, Diane, you're gonna come up and
Yes.
sort trash, recycle.
Stop recycling.
You want, does that mic work okay now?
Talk into it.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Okay, so first up is plastic bottles and cans. Basically, this is typical stuff from your refrigerator, a jug, rinse, of course, shampoo, bottles.
Now, you did say the
and
word
of
rinse,
course.
right?
Yes, I did
Rinse.
say rinse.
Everything should be rinsed.
Absolutely, rinsed and clean. So anything-
Can you hold that mic a little closer to you now? Sorry, thank you.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have, typical plastic bottles, cans rather, from the canned goods in your pantry. Glass jars. Water bottles. Some more water bottles. You can bring them in for the deposit. You're very cute. If you don't, bring it back to the grocery store, then you can recycle them. Any type of glass, white or colored, some more cans, some more bathroom stuff. Sometimes residents don't realize you can recycle all the containers coming out of your bathroom, and mostly kitchen stuff, cleaning products, as long as everything's empty and clean. You don't have to take the tops off of any of this. Tide products, more bathroom products, more laundry stuff, more shampoo. We can accept aluminum containers as long as they are clean, and they can go into the recycling.
Going back to the plastic bottles for a second, wasn't there a point in time where they would not take certain plastics? Is it?
In bottle form?
It used to
Well,
be 1,
there was
2,
like
3, and then I think
Oh.
they've expanded it
To
through
6.
1 through 6.
Oh, right, numbers
Yes.
1 through 6 are acceptable. It's still on the on the schedule that
Okay.
is received.
And Diane, I'm so old, I used to take the paper off cans. You don't have to do
No,
that.
you don't
Just
have-
as long as they're clean.
That is correct. You
Oh,
don't have
boy,
to
I've been
keep-
really doing your job for you.
So here we are on to the paper and cardboard section. Frozen food packaging. This had a container in it, so this cardboard is actually okay to recycle. If there's a material in here like a waxy shine and just an actual food product, then it's not recyclable. This is a packaging material is recyclable. Cereal boxes are recyclable. Dunkin' Donuts is recyclable.
Now, aren't Dunkin' Donuts greasy? Do they leave marks in containers or no?
No, the K-Cups? No, the K-Cups are garbage, but the container, the packaging is cardboard.
Okay.
So, you got stuff from the bathroom, toothpaste, butter, containers. Again, there's no real wax in here, so it's fine. Something from the laundry room. More products from your kitchen cabinet. So this is an example of contamination. It's when you want to recycle the cracker box, but the bag and the food residue is here. So this would have to go in the garbage. And then you could recycle this. That's a very important step.
Would that count as a plastic bag?
No, we don't accept plastic bags anymore for recycling. No, they wouldn't want that. There's a waxy film in there because a food product is being stored in there. So some macaroni and cheese boxes, some more kitchen boxes, pantry stuff from the bathroom, packaging. So our biggest thing is all this newspaper and junk mail could be stored inside the bin or in a bag like this, or in either one of these bags, paper bags. You can put it out on curbside like that if you like, if you don't have a bin. Or
Now
you could
that, that looks like a waxy bag. I'm not trying to be the white one that you have there. So I'm just trying to like, okay, but if it was, let's say, a waxy bag, then don't use it to recycle, or they'll dump that and then throw away the waxy bag.
Right, well, if it looks shiny and waxy,
Right.
then yes, when in doubt, throw it out.
Okay.
You're probably going to say something about this shiny stuff. This is all acceptable. At our recycling facility that we own, we sort this material, and that's how we grade it into different grades, and that's how we could sell it. So newspaper articles, grocery store advertisements, all sorts of junk mail, magazines. Any clean cardboard around a container of adult food packaging, is acceptable. And you can throw material right inside the same box. So you could use this box and throw your junk mail, newspaper, throw it all right in here.
How about a junk piece of mail that has like a cellophane window to it? Is that okay?
That's
as well?
okay.
That's okay?
That's okay.
Good.
Right, the window envelopes, in other words?
Window envelopes,
Okay.
yes.
But Diane, you don't want this if it's wet? If it's gonna rain, can people
Right.
just put it out that way? or
Right,
no?
that's where we come into the moisture meter at our facility, where then we just have to unravel everything and air them out before we could sell it.
So it's much better to protect everything?
We can't help the weather in
No, I know.
the winter, in the rain.
Okay.
So pizza boxes, like Tony mentioned, we really want them just tossed in the garbage because rarely ever do you not have that wax coating in there or any contamination. This is no good to us. This would be really bad if this was in the recycling. Okay, so we have a fan here, and the styrofoam and plastic all inside here, this needs to be taken out before this box can be placed at curbside. This is one of our problems. One residents will put this entire box out at curbside when all of this is no good. All of this is contamination. So if somebody were to leave this at curbside, you'd probably get an UP sticker on it, because my driver would not be able to stand here and unload all the material into, he wouldn't have the garbage truck to do it, first of all, but he wouldn't be able to take it. He wouldn't be able to take it and he would put an UP sticker on it.
Now, being a wise guy again, in theory, recycling truck comes first. They don't take this, then the garbage truck comes behind. Won't the garbage
I don't know how
guy
it's going to
just
be
pick it up
routed.
and?
Yeah, I don't know how it's going to be routed at this point.
Okay.
But I will find an answer
All right.
for you. So jelly that you can't get out of a plastic container is contamination, because obviously it's more than 0.5%. Aseptic containers are trash as well. Packaging that has plastic film and residue of donuts, this cannot be recycled, so it's trash. Twisty ties, packaging material, and inside here you could pull out the cardboard and recycle the cardboard, but this packaging material is trash. Loose pieces of plastic, Bounty, all trash. No more plastic bags. No more plastic bags. You can bring these back to the grocery stores. And then even the small bags that vegetables are purchased in are trash as well. Some residents think that aluminum cans mean metal, so we end up with pans and spatulas in the recycling. And that would be contamination, so that would be left. So like a Klondike package, if you rip you could recycle this, but you'd have to take the plastic off. And again, this is all mostly a netting that's not recyclable. Ziploc bags are not recyclable. And then the same with all of these small packaging. As long as you want to recycle this, all you really have to do is take the plastic off and then place the cardboard in the cardboard and paper bin. Again, another example of a beauty product left inside a container. If you can't get it out, then it has to go in the trash. Packaging like this is no good, trash. So on cardboard in the past, a lot of residents have put this out just like this. So if you don't want an up sticker, you got to take the plastic off, which I'm probably not going to be able to do easily right now with the microphone in my hand, but so that would go with the cardboard, and this would go in the trash.
You rent yourself out so you can come to our homes and do that for us?
So some cleaners will take back the plastic or the metal hanger, so you should ask your local dry cleaners if they will take that back. We can't accept it as a recyclable item. Some more netting is trash. Again, if you take the plastic off, that place the cardboard with the paper products. Any bread bags, plastic, not recyclable. Coffee containers, lids, not recyclable. Plastic bags from water, trash, more plastic material in packaging. You could really, when you're purchasing material, look for stuff that doesn't have so much packaging material. If you try to buy less or in bulk and bigger items, then we actually could help not put stuff in the garbage. So again, if you take the plastic off, any material, you put that with the paper. You can stick it right in the paper. Paper and cardboard can all be mixed together. And this is just kind of a duplicate. So that's it for that. Does anybody have any questions? Yes?
How many oops stickers can you actually have
How many oops stickers do you actually?
before there's gonna be an issue? Because
They just won't collect it.
there's one collector, that's it,
That's it, period.
done.
Any other
Oops.
questions?
Oops.
Oops. Any other questions from the town board?
A cartons and no cartons, no pay.
Oh, yeah. Did you want to come up and speak, Levon? Please? Come on.
Come on, Levon.
I know you want to speak. Yay, Levon.
A couple items that I remember off the list are like styrofoam cups, like Dunkin' Donut cups, and like egg cartons. Even if they're paper pressed egg cartons, they're not allowed, or styrofoam cartons are not allowed. So we have a detailed list in the new flyer that is going to be going out in January. Actually, it will be going out in December. It actually has all the items listed in it. So as long as you read this flyer when it comes out to the houses or the condos and follow it, we'll be fine.
The one that surprised me is toilet paper and paper towel rolls. Those cannot be recycled, is that correct?
That's because of
Right.
the flow of the flow of the recycling and the sorting machines, the eyes, the metal is pulled up by magnets. So the paper rolls, they just don't go with the flow of the paper, so they interfere, and it's a different grade of paper.
Right.
So that's why it doesn't have a home. It doesn't have the home with the heavier cardboard. It doesn't have a home with the cereal boxes. It doesn't have a home with the junk mail.
Okay. And the most dreaded cleaning process in my kitchen, peanut butter, right? That's
Yes.
almost, a lot of people are gonna just have to throw that out, I think, right?
Unless they wash it.
Unless they really wash it, yeah, okay.
And it's shoe box.
Yeah,
And the other item that I was actually really shocked is like shoe boxes. When you buy your shoes, those boxes are not recyclable either. It's a different
Really?
grade of cardboard. Yeah, I was surprised.
I'm really surprised, I didn't know that one.
aerosol cans?
Aerosol cans are as long as they're empty.
Okay.
Okay.
This is a copy of a sticker we kind of call the bumper sticker.
Now, why don't you tell them that they're gonna be included and would be available at town hall as well? Why don't you get into that quick?
Oh, we did.
Yeah, these stickers will be available here at Town Hall and at 1 Main Street. So if residents don't get a flyer or they misplace it or something happens, they buy new containers, they need new stickers throughout the year, they can come to the town clerk's office or to the 1 Main Street down in the village.
Are they gonna go out with the flyers or not?
Yes.
Yes, so
2
look for
blue
the,
stickers and 2 brown stickers will go
Yeah.
out with a flyer.
yeah, this
And
is
just a
really
tip
great.
as well, by the time you get these, it's gonna be very cold. Bring your plastic container, if it's a metal container, inside your garage if it's warm. Don't put them on when it's cold, because they're gonna peel off and you'll be back to square one. So bring it in, give it some TLC for a day or so, put the sticker on, and it should last for quite some time.
Very good advice. Did you want to hand out the dirty lesson? No? Okay.
You can.
Because and you brought up the list, I do actually
I
have.
have to, yeah, I used it. It's in the flyer.
All right, any other questions?
Just without monopolizing too much time and in
Absolutely
30
not.
seconds or
I'm
less.
a town of Southeast resident, so I live right up the street.
I know about 10 years ago, right, we were sending almost, cargo shipments over to the Chinese because they wanted all our recyclables. I mean, they just couldn't get enough of it. So I think, I don't think you were joking when you said there's trade wars going on now, and if that's really what's changed. What really has changed that, is it really the trade war, or is it just that now oil is cheaper and they don't have the need for recyclables, so they don't want it, or?
The oil is cheaper, but the biggest reason is actually what started in August of 2007, and I have newspaper articles here with China. Basically, there's been a lot of newspaper articles, China saying they don't want to take the world's trash anymore, because they just don't only buy from us, they buy from other countries. They were accepting everybody's trash, which was recyclables.
Right.
But once we pick it up from your facility, it goes to our facility, and then we send it out on trailers to the barge, and then it's on the barge for 3 weeks. So by the time it hits China, if it's contaminated, it's really bad. So they'd send the inspectors before, and they take a lot of pictures of it being contaminated. But it started with the trade wars, and there is no value in it, which is a trickle-down effect to us, because if our recycling suppliers don't want to buy it from us, then
It's cheaper to throw it away.
there's no value, right? It's cheaper to throw it away. And if we have to handle it, and this is why the contamination is really important, there's not enough time or money to take, like if I combine this in one big pile and someone told me it was recycling, there's not enough, there's no money to do this. There's not enough time, money, or labor to sort that out, to make that a profitable load.
Thank you.
You're
And what was
welcome.
the slogan you mentioned earlier?
Keep the stream clean,
Yeah, yeah,
or when in doubt, throw it out.
That's the best one.
yeah.
I think that's the lead words to use. When in doubt, throw it out.
But
You're
anyway.
gonna save a lot.
Yeah.
I want to thank Diane a lot for the demonstration, and also Nick and everyone who came, and we had I thought it was a really good meeting, and people also have to know, it will save us all money and time in the long run if you sort properly, so
Right,
Thank
right.
you for all your
Oh,
work
you're
on this.
welcome.
I really
You're
appreciate it.
welcome. And posting that video is a really good idea, so our residents can view it.
I
because-
think if people understand the reasons, sometimes it is a little easier. And I know at one point, the Chinese were using it as ballast because they were sending container ships back empty. And so now
Well,
it's just
it's-
not as profitable, so.
Well, exactly, what they were selling us, that's why the recycling started going to China, because they were sending back empty containers, so you could get a better price to send material to them.
Yeah.
They just won't accept it anymore.
10 years from now, they will. And
There's
then
some
it'll
o-
start the vicious cycle all over
Possibly,
again.
there's usually a vicious cycle of something every
Yes.
10 years. We don't foresee it going back, and because we're in the industry, we are just hearing more and more the actions that people are taking right now that we deal with. So if it's not, if it doesn't make sense economically, we can't continue to do it. We can't lose money
Right.
to pick up recycling.
And also, I think for them, the manufacturing process of turning it back into usable was so polluting over there, and they are trying to get a handle on that too. with their
There's actually a
plants.
lot of interesting articles
Yeah.
from, in regards to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Have a
Okay,
great
again,
evening.
we'll have a final presentation at the end of December, one more round of it to let people know. So you can't say you aren't aware. I know you're not gonna be happy. There's gonna be a lot of oopses to start. Hopefully there'll be less, and it is what it is. It's beyond our control, and it's what's gotta be done.
I agree.
Also, I just wanted to mention that we're also going to invite all of the condo management companies into a meeting, a town meeting, here at Town Hall, but not at a town board meeting, to explain all this changes to the management companies so that they can explain it to their constituents and residents.
Customers, yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously.
at that level, in case they have questions, we just want to let you know that
Okay.
we'll be working with them too.
Very good. Thank you.
Yes, the first week of December.
Right.
Great.
That's
Thank
Good
you.
idea.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we're gonna take about a 1-minute recess so someone can help Diane get the stuff off the tables here and to the back, and then we'll continue. So 1-minute reset. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I make a motion to go back into session. All in favor?
Aye.
It was seconded by somebody, right?
Yes, I'll second.
Discussion, amend the zoning of the home occupation law. Lynn, do you had some extra comments that you worked out with Ashley. In front of you this evening, you have WS number 2 revised. I had a number 2 earlier.
Yep.
But this is up to date. This will be posted on the internet webpage, and our next meeting on the 29th of November will be the public hearing on this. So if you want to see what we're discussing tonight, it'll be on the webpage as of tomorrow, and that's the public hearing on the 29th. Okay,
Okay, yes, I worked with Ashley. There are now, over 60 New York State licensed professions. So Ashley and I were going over them to see what would be appropriate to, more and more people are able to work from home. And so we wanted, the goal is to have it user-friendly for our constituents, but have it, obviously, as civil as possible, so it doesn't disturb other neighbors at all. So I think this is really important for people to go over online and read through it. I don't know, that's just kind of the overview, if any of the board has specific questions or suggestions. But as I said, Ashley and I went through it, went through the list that she had given us last week, and, or, excuse me, at the last meeting, so. Things like we won't be allowing, while it will be fine to have a psychologist stay home, it would not be fine for any kind of invasive, if there are even minimal operations or anything medically invasive, that is not going to be okay. So it's kind of a common sense law, I think, but people, I really suggest you look through it, because you might, I'm sure it's easy to forget things, let's put it that way. There is also, when Ashley and I were talking today, for example, she was going to allow, there could be more than one home occupation, and then we were concerned that if there were more than one, it might generate too much traffic in a neighborhood, and especially if it was personal training or something. So I don't know if anyone has gone through this or what kind of questions you have.
Well, we went through it, again, we've had this, I think, here now twice before.
Yes.
So the only changes is what's in red, which you basically just touched upon.
Yes.
So at this point in time,
You're putting me out of business. I'm the only radiologist here with, I
Yes.
can't have my own x-ray machine, my own MRI machine, my own CAT scan machine.
No
Come on, I
favoritism.
mean,
Nice try now.
Yeah.
But
It's a
actually,
good comprehensive list. I mean, you know, we can't think of everything, and like the comprehensive plan, it's a living document.
Yes.
If we figure out that we forgot something or omitted it, I'm sure a year from now or 2 years from now, we can just add it and redo it.
and Ashley will be at, I believe, the public hearing,
Yeah.
so that she can answer questions. And I would encourage you, as always, to email us if you do have suggestions or questions, or call, whatever is easier, because we want this to be as user-friendly as possible, and yet protection for our neighborhood, so.
now at the last meeting, we advertised that the 29th would be the public hearing on that, so we'd be posting that in the local paper.
Yeah.
So on the fitness, or if it was more than one person in the home, and they each had a fitness occupation, use, that would not be allowed?
Well, what we did was, I think Ashley has said that what we didn't want then is double up, like suddenly you could have 8 cars there at one time because they'd be running 2 classes. So that was something we wanted to avoid, whereas if husband and wife were both psychologists, there would only be 2 cars in the driveway, and we just don't want it to be too busy. The change Ashley's made here, and I have not spoken to her since this change, so we all can, is a maximum of 1 home occupation per resident family member over the age of 18 is permitted on the premises. In such cases where more than 1 home occupation exists, the home occupations together shall not exceed the maximum area, customers, and employee restrictions defined herein. Okay,
That's good.
so that's the part of it.
Are there any pre-existing uses that will be, that people will now be shut out of using their home as a?
Not that I'm aware of, like, I know someone, and I don't know if it's still there, someone had a small distillery at one point over on Turk Hill, I think, and I'm not sure whether that's still, I think that's still permissible, but I don't think the intention here is anyone who's legally already applied and is working out of their home, that it's not the intention to stop or
I'm just
anyone
thinking of like
grandfathering.
contractors that might use their house as their office, but go out in vehicles, and having more than one vehicle.
Well, that's already taken care of in the code, right, the vehicles?
Okay,
So,
because I saw that's one vehicle per home occupation, one commercial vehicle per home occupation.
Right.
And it couldn't exceed the size of a pickup truck, but
Right.
there may be contractors that have trailers with.
They still are restricted by,
Yeah, the
I'm not
trailer,
sure what
everything-
law.
our
Regular
is-
residential
Right.
code limits the number of commercial vehicles you can park in a residential zone.
Okay,
And that's 1 commercial vehicle outside, 1 commercial vehicle in a garage.
okay,
And so
That's
that would
commercial
stand,
use. Those are commercial registered vehicles.
yeah,
okay, so that stays.
yes.
And
That
are
hasn't
there-
changed. That's
Yeah.
got nothing to do with the.
Are there uses where people are not following that, but they've been grandfathered?
No, there's no
No.
grandfathering to that I know of.
No, I don't think so, I haven't heard of anyone.
Okay,
no.
cool.
I mean, there may be people that are abusing it, but
No.
it's just a matter of time before code enforcement catches up with it.
Yeah,
Good. Thanks.
Okay, let's move on to number 3, discussion amend the ARB referral process. This is pretty much self-explanatory. Anyone have any comment or make change on it?
no, I talked to Ashley, and just so the public understands, this is really, in some cases, the ARB was getting referrals on like a change, minimal change on a parking lot, and when I was on the ARB, we all looked at each other and would say, why is this here? So it's to avoid having to have applicants go when there's really no need for them to go in front of the ARB, but it's a very small change, it does make sense, so that's,
I talked to Chairman LaPerche as well as John Gowdy in regards to this, just to get their thought process. And it's very similar to, I think, what we did years ago when I was on the planning board, with just trying to streamline and make things a little bit more efficient and whatnot. So definitely willing to support this, and I think it's a good thing.
I'm sorry.
no, just to say, and streamlining, yes, but I think there are there are built-in protections on this as well, so.
Absolutely,
yeah.
but sometimes this, like you said,
Well,
it's
yeah,
a little
it's-
ridiculous to have an applicant
Yes.
show up.
For a parking lot that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's not an ARB issue, so, John?
Yeah, I just looked through it, and section 2, A2, it said something about the planning board shall seek the advice of the ARB on plans for any application classified as a minor project as defined in chapter 138 that involves exterior modifications to an existing structure for which the building inspector estimates the cost to be in excess of $5,000. And I'm just wondering, what triggers the building inspector to be, to make an assessment of?
An application, right, a building application,
Okay.
yeah.
And he makes a determination on his expertise about the dollar value of the project.
Okay.
Now, if it's $49.99, it's under 5,000.
Right.
5,001, probably be 5,000, but.
We just ran into this last week on a project, actually, so,
So he looks at all the projects that are coming forth, and he examines them to make sure that the estimation of cost is consistent with what
yeah,
you
anyone
expect.
applying for a building permit has to go through him, and yes, it was because there were people abusing the system who were doing a whole lot more to commercial property.
Right.
And if they said it was under 5,000, well, it was before this rule, they were just getting away with doing whatever they want without going to the ARB. And that was the reasoning behind this, so that the ARB would have some control about how things look in the town.
And I didn't understand number 6, section 2A6, plans. I thought that, I was wondering why the excluding general maintenance or in-kind replacement of existing materials to commercial properties for which the building inspector estimates the cost to be in excess of 5,000. So they wouldn't send that to the ARB if it was in excess of 5,000. I thought they would.
Replacement of fences and stone walls. Is this the one you mean?
Yeah.
You want to read the whole thing then?
Yeah, plans for exterior alterations, or this is, the ARB shall review and advise on all plans in the following categories, and this is 6. Plans for exterior alterations or exterior additions, including any the addition or replacement of fences and stone walls, but excluding general maintenance or the in-kind replacement of existing materials to commercial properties for which the building inspector estimates the cost to be in excess of $5,000. I would think that if it was in excess, he would.
No,
want to.
because as I understand this, and Will can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but in other words, a lot of time, you have to get a building permit for a roof, say, or re-siding, something that is already there, and that you would not want people, commercial property owners, to have to go to the ARB if it was a roof that exceeds $5,000. That's how I read this.
But you wouldn't want the ARB to look at it for materials and look at it for consistency in the neighborhood and things like that? I would think that you'd want them to review that.
I think it's onerous because I think what they're talking about, would be a judgment call too, I think, for Michael, or for the building inspector, but.
Right, that was my other question. And I didn't understand B. Plans in which approval of design and specifications have been legally and specifically delegated to town board and/or planning board may be exempt from mandated ARB review, with the exception of site plan approvals as designated in subsection A1. The town board and/or the planning board may, at its discretion, request ARB review in case of such plans. I don't understand why, what that's there for. It's not really,
It's a catch-all.
It's been in the code. I don't, know. I mean, this wasn't changed except for the A, instead of A6 to A1. So I can't really answer that. I don't know whether Will can answer that one.
I think that's because originally, when the ARB was established, it was really an advisory board, and it's still, in essence, it is,
Yeah.
because the town board has to approve whatever it is the ARB recommends. So what this is saying is if it's something that comes before the town board, then you'd be basically approving your own
Right, okay.
design. So it avoids having the necessary step of having the ARB involved in a town board determination.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, any other comments? Okay, we're gonna move to item number 4 for discussion. And that is the official naming of 215 Shore Drive, also known as Lakeview Manor. Now, I brought this forward because the project is, not nearing completion, we're getting there. They're doing the final and the installation today. There'll be sheet rocking over the weekend. I was hoping to get in there for the Christmas party for the seniors, but I don't think we're gonna make it. But probably sometime early January, we'll be back at the home. Now, it's been referred to for decades as Lakeview Manor. Over the time, the town has made that building more of where the seniors gather, and it's been known as the senior center. But now that we're making these extensive renovations, it may be better if it's a community center. So the question is, do we want to have an official name, or just leave it as it is, just consider to call it Lakeview Manor? The address will always be the same, 215. You want to say Lakeview Manor, Lakeview Senior Center, or Lakeview Community Center. Now, I would lean toward the word community center if we change it from Lakeview Manor, only because it's for the entire community of which the seniors are a part of.
Yeah, I would tend to prefer it to be called a community center. I have no problem leaving it at Lakeview Manor. Historically, it's been that, but I would defer to, how the rest of the board members feel on this. I don't have a really strong feeling, believe it or not, on this one.
Wow,
I know.
that's a first.
I know.
I kind of feel the same way. I'm good with leaving it as Lakeview Manor, but if we choose to change the name, I wouldn't be opposed or object to it being a community center as well.
Okay, Lakeview Manor, we don't care, John. Okay, we'll leave,
I like Lakeview Manor alone.
Okay.
Because of the people that built it, and that was what they called it, so I would prefer to leave it just
Okay.
Lakeview Manor.
And if we have a huge hue and cry, we can always change it at a later date.
yeah,
So,
no need. Okay,
Okay.
Lakeview Manor it is. Okay, make a motion to go into the regular meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
aye.
First item is resolution to adopt the 2019 town budget. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Southeast hereby adopts the 2019 preliminary budget and remove the word as amended, because it was not amended. Okay, so we'll strike that. As and for the annual budget for the town of Southeast for 2019 budget year, and be further resolved that the town clerk is authorized and directed to cause a copy of the 2019 annual budget as adopted to be published on the town's website, and the sufficient copies therefore be made available to the town clerk's office for public inspection. So move for discussion.
Second.
Discussion.
I will be voting yes, and I want to thank Tony and Ron Hunt because they worked so hard on this. But I'm still not happy with the raise for part-time elected officials, but as I did last year, I think it's a good budget. I think it's a strong budget, so I will be voting in favor.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, number 2, resolution, authorization, expenditure of funds in connection with renovation of Lakeview Manor. Now therefore be resolved that the town board hereby finds a project known as Lakeview Manor renovations and the expenditure of town funds to complete the project will not have a significant impact on the environment as prescribed under the State Environmental Review Act, SEEKR. Resolved in further expenditures of funds and the completion of the Lakeview Manor project will improve the quality of life in the town of Southeast and enhance health, safety, and welfare of the residents of the town of Southeast. and be further resolved that the supervisor is authorized to appropriate from the budget line. Oh my God, I left it out. I had it in there, it's gone. Okay, Will, can we pass it and put the number in tomorrow?
Yeah.
The budget line? I had it there, I don't know what happened to it. Surplus purchase of materials for 215 Shore Drive renovations, a sum not to exceed $275,000 for the purpose of completing the renovation of Lakeview Manor. So moved, and I'll put the budget line in tomorrow.
I'll gladly second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Michelle, remind me more. Number 3, resolution, adopt Kevin Schick to the Board of Assessment Review to fill the unexpired term of John Handy, 9/30/21. So move for discussion.
I'll second, and I would like to say we have two such qualified people for the Board of Assessment Review. It was really a pleasure to interview them, and I think they're going to do a fantastic job, although Barbara has been on it before, so we know she does a good job. So I will second this.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 4, resolution to appoint Barbara Bashirs to the Board of Assessment Review to fill the unexpired term of James Clark, 9/30/22. So move for discussion.
Second.
Ditto on your comments?
She was terrific, too, so I'm very happy, and Lori's a very lucky woman.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know, thank you. They were really professional.
I like the fact that Barbara was very familiar with residential valuations, and Kevin was very familiar with the commercial assessments, so we're going to have good coverage on certiorari reviews. So, yeah, I support both of them.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And number 5, a resolution to approve the ARB recommendation, Interior Rock, 3903 Danbury Road, tax map number 69.13-1-21.2. Now therefore it be resolved that the town board hereby accepts and approves the report of the Architectural Review Board dated October 30, 2018, in connection with the application of Interior Rock, which seeks to construct a 20,000 square foot commercial building and associated accessory parking facility at 3903 Danbury Road, tax map number 69.13-1-21.2 in the town of Southeast, Putnam County, New York, a copy of which is annexed hereto and made part hereof, and that such report shall be incorporated in any final site plan subsequently reviewed and approved for the project by the planning board. So move for discussion.
Second.
Discussion.
At what point does a performance bond get
Next step.
next step?
Yeah,
So that
it
would be,
just now, after the RB, it goes back to the planning board, and there's a few things they still have to work some loose ends up, and then at a point in time, the town engineer will assign it that value.
and the town engineer assigns a performance bond?
Yes,
Would you-
well, assigns the value of the performance bond, yes.
Okay. All right, thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Recognition of public. Okay, tonight I'm going to start with the recognition of the town board. Usually I go last. One, we had an election, as you know, just a few days ago. The turnout was just unbelievable. I mean, I sat in my office pretty much all day long, from 4:30 in the morning to 9:30 at night, and I saw all the vehicles coming in and out, tremendous turnout. I would like to thank Melinda Molinaro for having participated, and Eric Larka. Eric was the eventual winner. He'll be sitting here. I got a seat warmed up for him, but he's not sitting here yet because it has to be confirmed by the Board of Elections, which might take place by next Wednesday. He'll take the oath of office, and he'll be sworn in officially in a small ceremony for the family on November 29th meeting. So I do want to thank them, all those that you that voted. A lot of people still did not, and please exercise your right. And other than that, I think I'm good.
Ellen?
I have nothing.
Yes, welcome to the board, Eric. And it's Melinda Montanaro, just to.
What did I say, Molinaro?
Mullen, you were getting him
He was the guy running for
confused with the
governor.
governor's race, but
I told you
she
I
was
have problem-
elevated. She was elevated.
I have problem with names.
So, and yes, and I'd like to thank Melinda. I thought it was a great race, and I was.
Sorry, Melinda.
So, also, and I understand too that the turnout was over 50%, and various districts got up pretty high in the 50s, so. Also, I walked across the Prospect Hill Bridge today with Will, and we had a meeting, and it was like a punch list of what needs to be done, but I think the Prospect Hill Bridge will be open soon. So, that will be, I think, a godsend for a lot of people.
And on Sunday, 11 o'clock at the Electrizone Field, the Veterans Day Memorial ceremonies take place. So it's a good thing to go to. It's really pretty nice. And the veterans really appreciate you being there.
Okay. Anything else? I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to close tonight's meeting.
Is there a second?
That's your job when you come up.
Yeah, it's going to be Eric's
I'll
job.
second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for coming.